Hi guys, I'm Vero, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about gouache again. But first, this video is kindly sponsored by SKILLSHARE, an online learning community with more than 25,000 classes about art, design, marketing, photography, and much more. On SKILLSHARE, you can learn about your career and your passion, so whether you want to fuel your curiosity or creativity, SKILLSHARE is definitely something for you. For example, I'm currently following a class by Aaron Marks, and I agree with everything that it says. The class is about design and illustration, and I love design and illustration. It talks about how design can help you so much, whatever art style you have, because design thinking is important to simplify reality and to convey a message easily, and to show us how many things illustration and design have in common. It does talk a lot about Art Nouveau, and Art Nouveau is my life, guys. You can definitely see some Art Nouveau influences in my art because I love it so much. So it's really interesting, and I really recommend you to watch it, because SKILLSHARE is also very affordable with less than $10 a month with the annual subscription. But if you use the link in the description of this video, you get 2 months of premium SKILLSHARE for free. So you can go and check out these classes and all the classes that you want, and it's going to be free for 2 months for all of you. So go ahead and try it out if you want. So in this video I am painting Melanie Martinez with gouache, because when I drew Billie Eilish and posted drawing on Instagram, people were like, oh my god, draw Melanie too. So here I am. But I'm not here just to paint, I'm here to give you some tips and advices maybe about gouache if you want to use it in the way I do. So if you were expecting a step-by-step tutorial on how to use gouache, well, this is not it. I just want to reply to the main question that you all asked me, and it is regarding on the way I blend gouache. So here I'm gonna try to explain how I do it, and I'm gonna start right away. So if you want to know more about gouache and what it is, you can. I made another video and I will link it somewhere, and you can watch that first before watching this. So now I'm gonna start right away from the paper. The paper with gouache is like very important, don't ever underestimate it. To make your life easy with gouache, you have to find the right paper. For example, the paper in the sketchbook is perfect because this paper is really absorbent. And what's the main problem with gouache? The fact that when it dries, if you wet it, it will always melt again, even on your painting, so it's very difficult to layer. The best way I found to solve that issue a little bit is to use paper that is more absorbent, like printmaking paper or uncoated paper, like some recycled papers, for example. You could even make your own. Because if the paper is absorbent, it absorbs the paint a little and it won't lift as easily when you layer it. So go out and about and try different types of paper and find the one that works the best for you. I'm still looking for the right paper, so if you ask me, I don't really know, but I will let you know once I find the perfect one. So once the problem is a little bit solved, painting with gouache becomes much easier, almost like painting with acrylics. I say almost because gouache does have a weird peculiarity. The color changes a lot when it dries. Usually lighter tones become darker and darker tones become lighter, and for medium tones it's just like a surprise all the time, you never know what you get. So it's normal to panic a bit when you layer gouache, because when you use wet paint over an existing layer of paint, the paint underneath melts again, so it changes color, and you might think that you mixed the wrong color because the color will appear too dark or too light, when the reality is just that the paint underneath makes it look like that because it got wet. So before panicking, let it dry. Don't overdo it, don't overblend it, don't try to fix it, because you're not fixing it, I think you're making it worse. So before panicking, let it dry and then evaluate the situation, because that's the most difficult part. With gouache, when layering, it's a bit like doing it a bit blindly, because you know the color changes, so you don't really know what you did just until it dries. So that's the difficult part. That's where mistakes happen. So even if it might look a little bit difficult at first, you just need some time to get to know gouache better and to understand how it behaves, so you can kind of go through these situations much easier and more relaxed. So it takes a little bit of practice, but don't panic. Just do it slowly, little by little. Another thing is that you don't want to add too much water when you layer. The consistency needs to be right. But if you add too much water, the paint will definitely melt much more. So the less water you use, the less the paint underneath will melt. Also, you have to be aware of how you are using the brush, because you have to use it very gently and you don't have to be harsh. You can't be harsh with the brush on the paper because that will make the paint lift. So when you're blending, do it very gently with the brush. It's like caressing the paper, little by little. It doesn't have to happen quickly, just take your time. Another thing that helps a lot with blending with gouache is blending as little as possible. And to do that, you have to pay a lot of attention to the tones of the thing that you're painting. And also, you have to pay attention on the drawing and to have to draw things precisely, and at least you have to know precisely when to place the colors. So instead of mixing the color on the paper, like sometimes with acrylics, oils and watercolors, basically all the techniques out there, to make a gradient from red to yellow, for example, you can just place yellow on a side and red on the other side, or just layer it, and you just blend in the middle and you get your gradient. But with gouache, even if you can do it, I wouldn't recommend you to do it. I suggest you to work the color on the paper as little as possible, especially if you can get the blending right, because it's the easiest way, guys, I swear. So instead of using only red and yellow, for example, make an orange on the palette and put it in the middle, so you have to blend on the paper as little as possible, and that really helps. So look at your reference photo or at your sketch, mix the colors on the palette first, and then place the ready mixed color on the drawing precisely, so that you get the right tones in the right spots and you don't have to blend much. This is the easiest way I found for me. What I usually do is I place the darker tones first and the lightest tones too first, so that I can work my way up into the middle tones, and that's it. That's all I do. Now, I'm trying to think about more tips and advices that I could give you, but I can't think of any more. So if you have questions about things that you didn't understand, or more question about other problems that you encounter when you paint with gouache, just write me a comment below and I will try to reply to your question. But I have to say that I don't know everything, guys, so I might not know the answer to that you were looking for, so I'm sorry about that. But the cool thing about this community is that there are other people that read the comments and they might reply to your question, and I definitely encourage you to help each other in the comments so that we can share our knowledge and we can grow as a community, and it would be so cool if we could all help each other. So if you know the answer, or if you know more, if you have more knowledge about gouache, please share in the comment. It would be definitely useful. That's it for this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you came up until here, if you stayed, thank you so much. Remember that you can get 2 months of premium SKILLSHARE if you use the link, so you can take all the classes that you want there for 2 months. And yeah, thank you so much. I'll leave you to the rest of the video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye, guys.